What is going on, Washington Commander fans? This is the Washington Command Post. My name is JD, or Commander J Plank. And this is the video. I've been trying to film this all day. I keep getting interruptions. I keep having things messed up. So I'm going to just do this really quickly. So Washington, I'm just going to dive into it really quickly. So there's going to be three things I'm going to go over in this. Kind of like our cap situation, our free agent situation, and our draft situation. Okay? So our cap situation with Washington right now is $33.9 million. Okay? There's not too much we can do when it comes to cutting players. At least we'd have to cut productive players. The only one I think would be smart to do is to cut Landon Collins. He saves us about $12 million added to our cap. So that gives us $45 million that we can spend getting back some free agent players. I'm going to go over that, right? Like, the only other option I can think of is that we may trade Jerron Payne, potentially, for trying to get quarterback. Another thing we might do is, like, sign and trade Brandon Sheriff, possibly. That's possible as well, to get a quarterback. Jerron Payne saves us $8 million. We have some players that would save money if they're cut, but I don't want to cut these players because they're good. Like, Eric Flowers cost $10 million, but he was good last year. He's solid. Matt Ioannidis is another player. He costs $8 million this year, but he's been good. He's solid. So why cut players that are good? Landon Collins, to me, has not lived up to the contract, so I think he's really the main player that is available. The Shazier Everett is the only other player I can think of that we could cut and save some money. So, yeah. So I think the Shazier Everett's going to get cut. Let me rephrase that. I think he's going to get cut. And it's not going to get cut because I want him to get cut. It's just he has legal issues right now. So Washington's probably just going to save $2 million and get rid of him. There's no one else really on our roster that has a huge enough cap hit that doesn't kind of match their production. Cole Holcomb matches. Taylor Heineke for $2 million quarterback matches. So on and so forth. So I think Terry McLaurin needs to get an extension. He's going to get an extension. It won't let me do it. Okay, so he needs to get a 5-year extension. Okay, we need to get him at probably the first year will not be loaded as much. We need to get him at, he needs to be at about $15 million a year. Okay, he needs to be at $15 million a year. He'll probably get a little bit of a bonus as well, but I'm basically going to put him at $15 million a year for the next 5 years. Okay. That's going to be his contract. Cap number. Is that on top of other things? Like, his base salary should be $15 million. Yeah. Okay. So his salary going forward. So that's still okay. I'm not worried about next year's because this thing's throwing it off. Okay. Basically, cutting Landon Collins will allow you to pay Terry McLaurin an extension. For some reason, like after the first year, it's making it difficult to do the years after that. So I'm just going to do 1 year to get the numbers like to match up with what I want. So let's do $15 million for 1 year, and we'll just make his bonus will be, let's just say it's like 3.5 million. Okay, so prorated. I'm just renegotiate. So he's going to cost $15 million. We'll give him $15 million a year. Hopefully over the next 5 years, something like that. That's what I would like to do for Eric McLaurin. It still gets you $33 million. Take care of the players that we have. Maybe extend Jerron Payne, but if we're not going to extend him, we need to trade him. That's basically what it comes down to. So Washington, that's Washington's cap situation. Now we need to look at Washington's overall free agency pool, so where Washington can kind of get some players. So, for example, Chandler Jones, we need a linebacker. We're probably going to draft one, but we need a linebacker. Chandler Jones would be solid to get a linebacker, even though he is older and he's not like the age I like. Dante Fowler would be good, but we already have defensive ends. Receiver-wise, Allen Robinson is good. Chris Godwin I wouldn't pick up because he just tore his ACL. So he'd have to be super cheap, and we already have an injured receiver, so I wouldn't go that route. The thing is, here's the thing. Everyone's always like, we need to grab these other expensive receivers in free agency. Terry McLaurin is these guys if these guys had good, if he had a good quarterback. So by signing him and getting a quarterback here, we would basically have these things solved. Okay? That's what a lot of people don't understand, is these things would be solved. Like the receiver issue would be solved if we had a decent quarterback and guys were healthy. For example, like Terry McLaurin, if you get him like a good quarterback, whoever it is, and they get him the ball when he's open and like more often, he will be a 1,500-yard receiver with multiple touchdowns, and he will be a number one receiver. Okay, he can't be a number one receiver because he's number one and number two receiver all at once. So he gets so much attention that he can't get number one numbers. Okay, that's the problem right now with Terry McLaurin is you don't have a quarterback that gets in the ball the right way. He gets 1,000 yards, whatever quarterback plays with him. Okay, he gets 1,000 yards with whatever quarterback it is. That's how good Terry is. You gotta get him signed, and you get him a good quarterback, he will be Allen Robinson. He will be Devontae Adams. Okay, free safety is a position I think Washington can look at. There's two good free safeties in the market right now: Tyrann Mathieu and where was the other one? Not Devin McCourty, Marcus Williams. Those two are available right now. So I think Washington will do. I think they're going to draft a decent amount of players, but don't count out Ron. Ron has a knack for finding guys in free agency, getting them signed, and they just pan out very well. He has a knack for doing that. The only like free agent signings that were like big money guys were William Jackson III and Samuel Cosme, and hell, let's just put what's his name, Fitzpatrick into that, and they didn't pan out last year, but that's last year. Two of them, all three of them were hurt. Okay, that's not like them not being athletic and not being the players that we signed. They're being unhealthy. Okay, there's a difference in that. If you sign a player and they just suck, that's one thing, but they were not bad. William Jackson got penalized a lot. That's because we played a lot of zone when he was in. And he's not a zone player. He's a man-to-man player. And we played more zone later in the season. That's why our defense got better. So we played a lot of man later in the season. That's why our defense got better. Okay, so I don't think we're going to go for a lot of things in free agency other than like one or two positions. Like one scenario that I personally think Washington should go with is to sign a good offensive tackle. Okay? It's a very quick solution. You sign Cam Robinson, you give him market value of about $17 million a year, 16.8. He is 26. He is young. He can play for next 5 or 6 years or 4 or 5 years, and you slide Samuel Cosme to guard. Very easy solution. And hell, you could probably put Jared Leno or whatever. Not Cornelius Lucas. Leno. Charles Leno. There we go. Charles Leno. You can slide Charles Leno over to right tackle and put Cam Robinson at left tackle. Whatever quarterback you have, whether it's draft or free agent this year, you have secured. We have the best offensive line in our division by doing, or one of the best. We have top 10 right now. If we're doing that, would be immaculately better. So we're going to look at not running backs. We're not getting a running back in free agency unless it's like a very cheap one because someone gets injured. Quarterback is another one I want to bring up. Quarterback, there's not really a free agent quarterback out there that I would go for. Mitchell Trubisky is probably the best option. He's going to be cheap. They're probably going to. He got paid $2.5 million last year and he didn't do anything. He played 33 snaps. So the market value for him is very low. Washington could probably get him for about maybe $5 to $10 million. 10 million tops is no different than Fitzpatrick. I don't want Fitzpatrick back on this team. He played one game, 16 snaps. That's not enough for me to even warrant him being re-signed. We don't know if he's going to be that good. Probably know Taylor Heineke did way better than he would have ever done. So the only other one, there's other quarterbacks I would like to have as like backups and potentially see where they go, but not like one that has to start while you have a rookie quarterback that is developing. So what we need is a quarterback that him and Taylor can duke it out to be the starter, and then the other quarterback will be like he'll never be active. He might be active at some point, but he'll basically develop for a year, learn the offense, all that good jazz. I do want to talk about one other QB option, and I will talk about this option in throws here. I hate this QB option so much, and I hate how much traction it is getting that it might happen. So here's the thing about Jimmy freaking Garoppolo. If you look at this number right here, $26.9 million. If he gets traded to us, Washington has to pay him $25.5 million. Okay? So not only are we giving up a draft pick, we're going to have to pay him $25 million. He's not worth $25 million. Okay? Okay? I have Taylor Heinicke's numbers up right now, and I'm going to bring up Jimmy Garoppolo's numbers right now. Okay? And the reason why I'm doing this, I'm going to show you Jimmy Garoppolo's numbers. Jimmy Garoppolo in 2021 played in 15 games. He had a 68% completion percentage. That's not bad, but it's not great either. I mean, it's not bad, but he didn't have other things that were great. He had 3,800 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Okay? He also ran the ball for a whopping 51 yards. Had 3 touchdowns with 8 fumbles. Okay? Now, I'm going to put some context here. Jimmy Garoppolo has been in this particular offense, for 5 years. He has the offensive player, I think, close to an offensive player of the year in Deebo Samuel. He has a very good offensive line. He has one of the best offensive-minded coaches in the league. He has a solid defense, so the defense covers his ass a lot when he screws up. He has a very good team around him. Okay? And with that, he put up those numbers. And Taylor Heinicke, who's been in this offense for maybe a year, he's actually doing an offense that is catered around the skill set of Ryan Fitzpatrick, not the skill set of Taylor Heinicke. So he's running an offense for another quarterback. Okay? He's running an offense for a different quarterback. And with an offense that's not catered to him and his strengths, in 1 year being with this offense, he had 65% completion percentage, 3,400 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. So 3 more interceptions. Whoop-de-doo. It's not that huge of a difference. Okay? They only won 2 more games than us. Okay? We had the harder schedule. They did not. Okay? And if you look at running yards, Taylor Heinicke ran for 313 rushing yards as well. Okay? So he accumulated 313 rushing yards in that throws of that. He got 1 rushing touchdown, so that's 2 less than Jimmy, and he had less fumbles than Jimmy. Okay? He is just a better overall. I'd rather have Taylor Heinicke. That's what I'm getting at with this. Okay? So first off, for all those people who think we should trade for him, stupid. San Francisco's going to cut him. San Francisco has no way to really accumulate any money back, except by cutting players that have been very effective for them, and I don't think that's smart. Okay? I'm just being honest. It's not going to be a smart idea to cut them guys. Okay? So there's no other way to them accumulate money. Without cutting him, they're $4 million over the cap. They cut him or trade him. Let's just say they cut him. Hold on. Let's just do the cut. They cut him. Now they're in the cap, $21 million, and they can re-sign some of these other players that they have on their roster that they want to get back on their roster. Okay? So trading for him is not an option. If the team is desperate to get a quarterback, wait for him to get cut. They're going to cut him. Okay? Wait for him to get cut, and then sign him as a free agent for like $8 to $10 million. Okay, he's not worth $25 million. I will, anyone who wants to argue that, like, I will argue that with anyone right now. He is not worth $21 million or $26 million. Okay, he's not. He's not worth it at all. Okay, if you think that, we'll argue that till I'm blue in the face. Okay, so the best quarterback option it has right now with free agency is Mr. Trubisky. They can still trade. I did a video on who they should trade for. Earlier, but if they're going to trade, if we're going to get a quarterback in free agency, just get Mitch Trubisky, get him for a year, and you never know. Maybe he'll surprise you playing with Josh Allen. Maybe he learned some things, and maybe Ron can get more out of him than the Bears did. But get Mitch Trubisky for 1 year, put a 2-year deal with very low money amount in the second year. That way you can cut him without a huge cost and develop your quarterback. The only other position I think Washington could really go for in free agency only. They're going to draft some other positions. Potentially inside linebacker. Okay, there's a couple available. There's a couple available. They're not super like out of this world great, but there's a couple available nonetheless. And then the other ones that I think, because they might actually do this because Ron likes some safeties, is like I said it before. Tyrann Mathieu and Marcus Williams. They're going to cost a lot of money though, but they're going to be worth it because they're both very good. I'd rather go for Marcus Williams. He's younger. Tyrann Mathieu does have a lot of Super Bowl. He has a Super Bowl and he has a good pedigree. He has a very good pedigree. So that part is done. So that's the cap space situation with Washington, what they can accumulate and what they can actually do with the money that they make from this. What I do? Did I have? Oh, they signed Terry McLaurin. Okay, so yeah, so they cut him. They still have $33 million after signing Terry McLaurin. Okay, and then they have $33 million to accumulate other things. Now I'm gonna go to the draft. So now I'm gonna do a mock draft for Washington. They need to hit on some of these things. They need to get a quarterback. So that's an example of what Washington's going to need to get. So quarterback. This is one I'm not trading back in. I'm just drafting where they're at. Samuel Howe to me is he's grown on me. Initially I was about Matt Corral, or however you pronounce his name. I think it's Corral. But Samuel Howe has become a lot better. He is shorter than most quarterbacks. Honestly, Washington could probably trade back, which I'm going to do in this other draft, and see if I can get him. It is definitely possible. I've seen plenty of players doing it. I'm really hoping that actually number 10, Chris Olave, falls to us so we can get him in the second round at pick 10. Okay? But what does Washington need beyond this? So Washington needs a couple things. They need an inside linebacker. Okay? So the inside linebacker market. Christian Harris is someone I think I've been looking at consistently, thinking that he could be a very good option in the inside linebacker position at this pick. Now, keep in mind, this is not exactly this. I think this is fan voted on, so this is where this website's not the most to the letter. I can do another one. I probably will do another one at some point, closer to what is close. There's just more that seem like more on point. This one isn't exactly on point with what the league and teams match up with. Defensive tackle. There's a defensive tackle option that I think wouldn't be horrible, because Washington is going to lose a defensive tackle. They're going to lose Tim Settle, which maybe they resign him. I don't know, but they're going to lose. My prediction is they're going to lose Tim Settle. Okay, he's going to be a free agent, and we're not going to be able to retain him, and we're going to have to replace him somehow. There's also option. I don't think we need to draft a cornerback that's, or it's not we're not desperate for a cornerback yet. There is receiver options. Like I said, if Chris Olave is here, I'd say draft him. Okay, he saves us a lot of money in free agency by drafting him. He is a solid receiver. He will be solid. Jahan Dotson is not bad, but the name Dotson is scary when it comes to Washington, because we had some bad history with those names. But I think Washington at this position, if it's available, they're going to get a weapon for Samuel Howe. I think they will go. They're going to go not through the draft. I think they're going to go through. What Washington will do is they will go in free agency to get an offensive tackle or guard. That's what they will do. If they did what I suggested and they get Robinson, and our offensive line solid, you just have to protect your quarterback. You have to commit Trubisky, and then next year it'll be Samuel Howe's team. Hell, midway through the season it may be Samuel Howe's team. I do think some depth will need to be gotten at this position, but I think Washington. That's what Washington will do. They're going to get another weapon for their quarterbacks, and then also the next thing they're going to do is either going to get a linebacker, or they're going to get so linebacker. I wanted still available, Christian Harris. There is the option for an offensive tackle or guard. They will get depth. They'll probably sign depth. Ron's very good at getting depth and getting value where there's needed. But I will pick Chris Harris as an offensive or an inside linebacker. I think that will move. What that'll do is I think he can actually start day one. You can move Jamin Davis to the Will, and you have Cole Holcomb at the Sam. Okay? If you don't know, Will is weak and Sam is strong. So what are we looking at now? What does Washington still need? So this website is not exactly dead on when it comes to what teams really need. Washington has an offensive tackle. They're going to sign one. I've already gone over that. Tight end. They can get one in this draft. I don't know if the tight end that I want to get is available right now. He's still available. I don't know if I want to pick him that early, though. But what Washington is really going to need is, like I said, they're going to have to replace the defensive tackle that they're losing. So I think defensive tackle, there's tons of options at defensive tackle. You can get, there's a lot of them. But I'm going to go with the best available one, Oklahoma, Perron Winfrey. He would be a good addition to the defensive line we already have. And I really don't think I'm going to be able to get the tight end I want. So I'm going to go about, I said I wasn't going to do any trades in this one, but I'm going to see if I can trade for this pick that I want. And I'm going to go 5 more picks. Okay, 5 more picks. And then I'm going to propose a trade. It's not going to be anything crazy. So I get this pick, and I'm not really going to trade a first round pick. Okay, I'm not going to trade a first round pick. I don't have access to next year's like picks to get this pick right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and propose it. See if they like it. It was not accepted. Okay, so I'm gonna go another 5 picks and kind of like see where this player lands. I guess is the best way to put it. Go 5 more picks, and what round am I in now? 5th. Okay, he might actually fall to me. I'm gonna try to propose a trade here. 5th round pick and see if he'll just take this. Because I think there's a tight end. There's a tight end I want to get. That's the best way. I'm just gonna skip to my pick. If he's available, he's available. He's not, he's not. And I doubt he is. I really doubt he is. So tight end is where we're gonna go next. He's not here. So yeah, there's the tight end I wanted to get, and I'm gonna see where he fell. There's a tight end that I wanted to grab, and he played for Iowa. I think that's what it was, Iowa. He might have been drafted way earlier than I thought. I might have just missed it. Tight end. Oh, he was drafted early. Okay, so I was searching for someone that there was no point. Charlie Colar, tight end from Iowa State. I think it's a good option. I want to get him, but he won't be got in the 4th round. I had to have got him a lot sooner. Okay, so cool. I think Washington might want to trade up and get that at that point. So, defensive tackle. What do I need now? Receiver. Okay, offensive. Let's go for offensive tackle. We'll probably draft as well. Actually, I'm going to go a different route here. Yeah, I'm going to go offensive tackle. Or some kind of offensive lineman. Someone who's versatile. I usually go with big-name school players because they play big-name talent. So I'll just go with Michigan. It's not a bad pick. And then the last pick will probably be like a running back to add extra depth. Running back. Okay, Devontae Price is not bad. We're going to go with Devontae Price. I think that's a good option. And so that completes the draft, and there's no trades in this one, even though I was trying to trade just to kind of cheat the system a little bit. It's an A. So I think Samuel Howe we can probably trade back for and get. So that's what I'm going to do with this draft. I'm going to do one more, and then that'll pretty much conclude that won't conclude the video. I have one more topic I want to talk about after this. It has to do with Washington's legal issues. So I'm going to skip to my pick. Okay, so I can trade back a couple picks and get one pick. Okay, I'm going to trade back to 18, see what happens. So let's go. Hopefully I don't lose out my quarterback. I don't think I am. So I think Washington can straight up trade back and get Samuel Howe. I think the more I see this, I think it's going to happen 11, but it's a possibility, so I probably could have gone a little further too. But I did accumulate a couple picks. Okay, so yeah, let's move to the next. So now I want to actually go move 5 more picks. And am I in the 2nd round now? Damn it. Chris Olave. Okay. So I'm going to go to my pick now, and when trading back, you're going to accumulate a couple picks. So I'm going to trade back one more time and get 4 more 4th rounders. So this is the way Washington can go if they decide to not spend a lot of money in free agency. So I move back 2 picks. I get a couple more players. And now Washington we can be a little bit more, draft a little bit more talent than we initially had. I think we can still get Penn State receiver that's available to us, Jahan Dotson. I kind of want to see a breakdown of this player real quick. We need a taller receiver. I hope he's taller. That's what I hope for. 5'11". Nope, that's not a tall receiver. Okay, but he's fast at least. He's definitely fast. Okay, so then we get a wide receiver. Okay, we'll look at best available because I wasn't planning to actually be this high in the draft. Best available. So there's offensive linemen we can get. There's defensive linemen we can get. Yeah, what do I want to do here? We can get Christian Harris a little bit later, so I'm not going to worry about Christian Harris right now. I'm going to go with the defensive tackle. We need to get a defensive tackle on this roster to help bolster it a little bit better. So defensive tackle, we'll take him. Okay. Go to the next pick in the third round. Next pick in the third round for Washington. And like I said, Washington doesn't need a quarterback now. We just drafted one. We don't need a receiver. We might get another one if we have like a space available. But offensive tackle, let's see if there's any offensive linemen we can add. Ohio State, DeWand Jones wouldn't be horrible. I prefer like a guard, honestly, because guards just seem to be a little more versatile than tackles. And they don't have to. They just need to be a little more versatile. That's not a horrible option there. I already got a defensive end, inside linebacker. This might be where I have to draft Christian Harris. Okay, I have to draft Christian Harris here. So, but we're gonna get an inside linebacker here. But the next pick, which is coming up, we're going to look for an offensive tackle. So, offensive tackle, I can still get the offensive tackle I was looking at a little earlier. Do I want to get the kid from Penn State? I'm going to go with the Ohio State kid. Okay, so that gives us a little more flexibility in these next couple picks. Next couple picks, so for example, when we did this before, I wasn't able to get the tight end that I wanted. Now I'm going to. He falls to the fourth round. He's a day 2 pick. Charlie Colar. He's a very talented Iowa State tight end. Iowa State has a way of building tight ends. If you look at their tight ends that have come out of Iowa State the last like 5 years, has been incredibly good talent at tight end. So they built a pedigree with me personally. I really enjoy the caliber of talent that have been coming out of that place when it comes to the tight end position. And tight end is a position I played when I played in high school. I didn't play it in college, but I played in high school. So now we're looking for what's best available. I watched the podcast of this guy who's doing a mock draft for Washington. And there's a receiver, and I can never find him on here. I think he has like a very weird name, but I can never find him on here. Let's see if I can find him right now. He's very fast. He's not on. He's gone. Okay. He might just be gone. But he's been on here numerous times, and I've come across him. Is there a big receiver in this? Either one of these guys is a big receiver. I'm going to pick the biggest one out of these 3 or 4 receivers. We need a big target. Washington doesn't have any big name targets right now. So that's why this one's 6'2". This one's 6 foot. This one, it doesn't have his height. He went to Clemson. 6'4". That's not bad. And then the last one, Pickett, which I don't like the name because it reminds me of a different player. Yeah, I think the best option is to go with Justin Ross. We need a big target. Washington needs a big target at receiver. So now we have 3 picks left. And one of these picks, we need to get a running back. We might be able to get a better running back than we did before. So one of the running backs that I think Washington needs to be getting is, I actually like Hassan Haskins or Brian Robinson. There's been 2 running backs that I like, but I think both of them could probably be available in the 6th round. So I'm going to see what else is best available right now. I don't think Washington doesn't have a dire need for more cornerbacks and safeties. I think the talent they have now is great. They just have to develop it and give it time to flourish. But I do think they're going to get someone who wants flexibility or position flexibility. I think that's a word Ron uses. So I think they will draft Alontae Taylor. Okay, and they're going to get him, and he's going to be flexible to play safety or corner. And then we're going to get a running back, and hopefully one of these 2 guys that I want is still here. Okay, so Brian Robinson is still here. Perfect. Okay, so this is working out to be a very good draft, one better than I could have ever dreamed. And getting our last pick in. What do I want our last pick to be? I have not mentioned it yet, but Washington needs to re-sign their field goal kicker and Joey Sly. So I think what Washington will do with a late round pick, it probably won't pan out to be anything, but they'll probably end up getting another offensive lineman just to add depth. So probably won't even make the team, but Josh Revis probably wouldn't be bad. So now we're going to pair the 2 draft. I think trading back is the right choice because I think Samuel Howe will be available a little bit later. A lot of the people behind us in the draft don't need a quarterback. That's why this is a weird draft where Washington doesn't have to trade up super much to get somebody. Whereas in the past, they would have to trade up to get the guy they want. They could probably sit right where they're at and have a pick of at least two or three quarterbacks. And heck, I've said it before. there's a quarterback in the second round that they can get. I think it wouldn't be bad if you give him a year to develop. And that's Carson Strong. So I think that's a quarterback you can get as well. But looking at this draft, so comparing these two drafts, drastically different. A lot of talent there. It just depends on if Washington wants to trade back. I don't think Washington's going to risk it, honestly. I think what Washington's going to do is they're going to draft a quarterback at 11, and that's it. It's done. Unless they know for a fact that someone will be available in the second or third round, and that's who they really want, then yeah, I think that's what Washington will do. So there's the last topic I want to talk about, and I'm going to see if I can switch over to one camera right now. So there we go. Last topic I want to talk about is the Washington football team, or the Washington Commanders. I'm so used to saying Washington football team now. The Washington Commanders are having like massive legal issues right now. Hopefully it results in Dan Snyder having to sell his football team. And this is like the greatest case scenario for Washington fans, is that Dan Snyder is done. He is done, and he gets to sell the team. Okay, I was watching the Super Bowl, and I was watching the guy who owns the Rams. I don't know his name. I don't remember his name, but he looks so unenthused. Is this down? That might be why. He looks so unenthused about winning the Super Bowl. He was so monotoned. But I thought to myself, does the NFL want to give Dan Snyder a Super Bowl trophy someday? With all the crap he's done, all the BS he's put fans, the league, Roger Goodell, front office, other owners through, so on and so forth. Does the league really want to give that man a trophy potentially someday? I don't think under his leadership it will happen, but you gotta think worst case scenario. What if it does? Well, not worst case scenario. That would be great for us as fans, but for the league, that they would be stuck in a situation where they have to like legitimately hand that man a championship trophy for how abysmal a person he is, how bad a person he is, abysmal franchise he's had, his culture he's created here. There are a lot of things that I don't think the league wants to deal with. So hopefully this is going to result in Dan Snyder having to finally get rid of the team, where he is no longer an owner. He has no ties or anything to the Washington Commanders. And hell, maybe the new guy will give us a new name. Possible. But I do not want this man owning our team anymore. I am so over this guy and his bullshit. He can't do anything right. He can't do it giving the towel right. He can't do a jersey retirement right. He can't do the names right. How you own a team and you don't know what years your team's won Super Bowls? How do you not know that? How do you let stuff get by? Like, how do you let your GM, General President of Operations, whatever you want to call Jason Wright, not have the right names on this? Like, you let all this stuff, it trickles down. It fish rots from the head down, and it rots like so bad from Dan Snyder down, and it trickles down to everyone. And I think with the new owner, it would just solve a lot of those issues. Hopefully it's Jeff Bezos. Actually, what I really hope is it's bought by Elon Musk. That's my goal. Okay, that's my hope. Elon Musk would be the one I want to buy it. Jeff Bezos is not bad, but I don't think he's much better a person than Dan Snyder. But Elon Musk is way better. Is the route I'd like to go. Let's just put it that way. I don't get into the details on other things like business and things like that. However, so that is my video. It's been a 30-minute video. I thank everyone for watching, spending the time with me to go over Washington's options that we have. Yeah, and if you have any comments on what do you think we should do when it comes to quarterback, draft, anything, put it in the comment section down below. I don't know if I did mention, I did get my first Commander shirt today. Actually, got it today. Got it this morning. I don't have a hat yet. I got one on the way. I got that one right now. It's probably my favorite one. Actually, I have another one right here. It's not bad. That one's not bad either. I just don't like to wear white hats. They get dirty. So it's not preference for me. However, this has been the Washington Command Post. My name is JD Commander J Plank. And you can follow me on Twitter at Commander J Plank. And you'll get videos like this all the time. You'll see polls I have, all that good stuff. So if you can do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, notification bell. You get videos like this all the time. It's very much so appreciated. And that is my video. I want to thank everyone for watching. And hail to the Commanders. See ya.